Hey everybody, this is Julie here from Connecting Japan and welcome to the bonus video for May. This is the one that should have probably been done with April or earlier this month. This video is about the supporters and the collaborators that are part of our landscape, and there are probably a few more we can add to this list and possibly more into the future. We are going to leave certain people's names out for privacy reasons, and we hope that you enjoy it. There'll be some information about their websites and other details at the comment section of this video. So we'll jump into that. The first one on this list is Connect Christian Church. So we've been going to this particular church for a couple of years, but its story and how we fit into it is sort of a bit intertwined. So Connect Frankston is also the main church. It was founded by Pastor Ian and Laurie Krutoff, both very good friends of mine. And how I fit into that is basically I was serving in a church that was part of the other church that they were involved with. So they founded Connect Frankston, obviously did other things, and then were part of Freedom Christian Church. When I met her, I was serving at the plant of that church and at Christmas carols. We did not hit it off straight away. And then our time went by and I ended up being her PA mission director, and she changed my life in so many ways. Obviously, with our involvements as they currently stand, we moved from Freedom, which is now Connect Casey, after 10 beautiful years, to the main church in Frankston. And though our role here is but small, it's been an amazing experience. Saturday night services are very different from the regular Sundays. Quieter, more intimate, and there is a beautiful meal at the end. That's not the reason why we go though. It gets us all revitalized for working and serving on a Sunday in the city. Connect obviously has 6 campuses, Frankston being, as we said, the main one. In order of their partnership, has Hastings, Peninsula, which is Rosebud, Casey, which is Cranbourne, Mornington, and of course Bass Coast, which is Grantville, which is sort of the halfway point between Cranbourne and Phillip Island. Mainly they're concentrating on young adults, youth, and there are some outreaches they do, such as our evangelical outreach, which is street evangelism. Community meals. Most of the venues actually have really good big kitchens to serve the homeless, and the also aged outreaches, as well as some school initiatives as well. So there's a lot of things that they do, and there's a lot of new changes and things coming into the church in this year. So it's been pretty exciting. What sort of role do we play in it now? I am a mission liaison for the church. So every 2 years, which is this year, coming into this year, is the ACC on Mission Conference. So that's my other hat that I have. And I talk to the Australians who serve on the field overseas. Currently, there are 4 of them who are under the Australian Christian Churches International, 2 families in Vietnam, 1 in Thailand, and 1 in India, which we cannot name, unfortunately, because of the sensitivity of these nations. I also, bring things over for them, as most of them have been in Australia or in and out of Australia recently. We don't need to worry about that part of it, although we have brought many different things for other people from outside of that, the ones our church supports, over the time as well. Once we're over in the conference, organising time to catch up and obviously praying for them, their families, what their needs are, and any initiatives and anything that the church in Australia can assist with. Make it a report and send it off to the oversight of the church, of the church. So there's a pastor that oversights all of the churches, and he gets that email. So yeah, that's it. So how does it be a bit more complicated? Well, when I first met Pastor Laurie and Ian, who the founders of all this, life is very, very different. And I can't thank them enough if they've ever watched this. We love you guys so much. Particularly Laurie, I got to know really well. She calls me Proby. I call her boss, even after all this time. So, and it's so great to know that in this year of Connect, that 40 years, that it means onward and upwards and a lot of growth for them. So we really appreciate them for all they've done with us over the past 10 so years. And yeah, they're really great people. So yeah, we'll definitely leave some information about them under this video. The next one, of course, sort of leads into the whole mission side of things, Cross Culture Japan. So how did I meet them? A friend of mine who did work with my friends in Vietnam came back to Australia, is a student, and moved to Melbourne and reached out to me. I mean, occasionally from time to time she would text me and we go, oh, hi, how you doing? The usual thing, catching up with each other over the internet. And I got a surprise call from her a couple of years ago saying, hey, what are you doing? And I'm like, oh, I'm not doing anything. Do you want to come into the city in Melbourne and we'll catch up? So we did. And we shared each other's lives. And she said, hey, I know this really cool little Japanese church and it's here in Melbourne. I'm like, no way. I would know about this if this place existed. Well, I didn't, obviously. So Cross Culture Japan is a baby plant of Cross Culture Church, which has been around for 160 years this year. Happy birthday. There's a lot of history about them. They started off during the Gold Rush era with a very small, dedicated group of people teaching English to the Chinese miners at the time. And now the church is huge, different cultures and everything everywhere, although they do have a faithful Mandarin speaking church. Cross Culture Japan's been around for 5 years now, so we kind of are relatively new in the landscape compared to those that have been there before. So they have social gatherings once a month. They have a special fellowship service on the third Sunday, and every 2 weeks in the calendar month is English conversation. Other than that, they do a lot of training and nurturing of each of their volunteers that come along. And we help out with them with a lot of these things. So we've done everything from greeting to we've done a food side of things. We facilitate with the English. I've done a lot of the lanyards and everything for the observers who are people thinking about joining the team, and helping many Japanese feel at home, which is pretty much what we're all about. So it was a really good fit. And I did say to the pastors, look, we're happy to volunteer, but they said, no, you guys are collaborators. So it really made us feel extra special knowing that. So, we also assist with some other mission-related activities, which leads kind of into the last main collaborator on this list. Yeah, it's been really great. I also organise outdoor events so they don't clash in with other people. My husband and I do that. We've done everything from hiking, we've done doing things to cooking, all sorts of things that a Japanese would be interested in. And of course, our dog is like Japanese bait. She is a very much a beloved member. The other one on this list is one that we had a relationship with sort of by accident sort of thing. So as you know, Connecting Japan is on Hello Talk. Hello Talk is like the largest cultural exchange app in the world for those who are new to the channel. And I met Matsuda Hiro-san, so I've put his surname first. He runs Empath, which was established in 2020, so they're a little bit younger than we are, with 30 members and 10 supporting areas. As a matter of fact, I've looked at it and they're pretty much on every continent. So they've got a big presence in the US. They've also got people in Japan, of course. They're in Saitama, which is north of Tokyo. And they're also got correspondents in Africa and Europe as well. So, and Southeast Asia. So there's a correspondent in each place. So a correspondent is someone who writes a little bit about their community and the Japanese that are part of it. And they usually put those newsletter reports in before the middle of the month. And those newsletters go out to Japanese wherever they are. So to let them know that they're worth it and they're valued. So the mission statement for Empath Japan Foundation is: we cherish the Japanese values of harmony, beauty, and enjoyment, supporting the efforts of good-willed individuals. Yeah, it kind of makes me feel really special knowing that. And I got to personally meet Hiro-san in April of 2026, so it was really great. My role is the Australian correspondent. It's kind of a small Japanese contingent here so far. 20,000 is not that much really, and there's only a couple of events in the calendar year. But we're hoping to get more out there. So like I said, if you do know any Japanese artists, please do get in contact with us, because we will pass that information on to Empath and anyone who's interested in coffee as well. So there's a lot of different things. We just had podcast recently. We're going to be doing correspondence podcast, and there's also the Coffee United, Open Factories, all that sort of stuff coming up into the rest of this year. How I met him, well, I met Hiro on Hello Talk, and he invited me to a Coffee United event, which is coffee growers, people who are interested in coffee. It was a really long event, but it was very interesting. I highly recommend going to a smaller webinar just to get a feel for what Empath actually does. Yeah, so hopefully one day we'll get to go back to Japan and meet Hiro-san at a convenient time. So you never know. So that's the first of our Japanese collaborators that we're partnered with. The last one, of course, is Japanese Christian Fellowship Network. Now, the date of their establishment is somewhere between 1990 and 1991. Initially, that was mainly a lot of Japanese that were studying and getting working visas and all that sort of thing in the US, and it was mainly for that reason to start with. So they do have a big office, like Empath, they do have an office in the US as well as Japan, and supporting those on the ground there as well as missionary initiatives. Then that obviously spread as Japanese went to other countries like Australia, New Zealand, England, Canada, English-speaking countries, whether they were studying, work visas, whatever it was, and they whether they became seekers, which is the first step to becoming a believer, or actively became believers, and then obviously they have to come home. As we said, JCFN runs a couple of conferences in the US, which is there's one in Chicago that's going to be happening rather soon. There's another Equippers event that happens in later on in the year. And then, of course, Japan has Griko, which is one that we go to, and there's another event that happened earlier in this calendar year as well. So they all work in different times of the year. These events enable the Japanese to get acclimatized back into coming back into Japan, helping them find a church and a Christian community that will support them in their journey wherever they decide to work, and also supporting of their families. So how we got to know them, obviously through cross-culture. And they, cross-culture, of course, invited us to the Global Returnee Conference. We got to know them all very well. Prior to going to that event, they have their monthly prayer meetings. We signed up for that and we participate in their prayer meetings. I kind of feel like a little fish out of water, just a little bit, because my Japanese is obviously not as good as theirs because they're native speakers, but they always feel very respectful of me because they always translate things into English for my sake. There is a couple of people from cross-culture that actually attend as well, and it's always an honor to be able to pray with them in their situations. So they have they also have very strong ties with Overseas Missionary Foundation, which used to be Thailand Inland Mission back in the day with Hudson Taylor. So you can find out a bit more about him. And when that time in China finished, Overseas Mission Foundation came to Japan, and they're all over the place there. So OMF and JCF and there's a whole lot of other churches partner with them during the Global Returnee Conference, as well as the two churches in Melbourne Japanese Christian Church, and of course Cross Culture Japan. We got to be part of that with them last year. If you saw the video, you would have seen it. And also I had the honor of being in a small group. So hopefully if I do the small group in 2027, which is the next GRC, which I'm really excited about, we have been given the dates for that, which is my birthday to the 5th. We have the 2nd of May to the 5th. It'll be really exciting, and we just love participating with them. So they're the main ones. We've always said we volunteer, but they insist we collaborate. And it's a really great feeling to be able to be part of something bigger than ourselves, because it's not about us. It's about bringing Jesus the glory in the kingdom building. There you go. So our honorary people that we'll speak about is Word of Life. They're really good friends of ours, and they love Japan too. We got to meet them at a regional conference a few years ago, and we have a very close relationship with that church. They're situated in Melton, and we can't give you more. They have been running for 34 years, so that's pretty good. And we also belated anniversary to them. The other one is a Japanese Christian Missionary Association, so that's the other honorary mention. Whether we'll go forward with that into the future, I don't know. So this is it, guys. Sorry for the length of this video. Thank you so much. So the next video we're going to do is cooking ramen. And you guys have spoken. Tonkotsu ramen is what we're going to be making. My personal favorite. Have a good one, guys. And from all of us here at Connecting Japan, John Latane. We'll see you next time.